So you're talking about producing and writing for other people,
Yeah.
so obviously you produce your own stuff. How much scope is there for collaborations with other producers and stuff, especially with the UK sound becoming massive at the moment?
I think it's absolutely crucial, and what I think we can take from the US way of working is, one, you know, I might throw someone a beat and they'll say, I love everything apart from this, do you mind if I mess with it? And it's really important not to be precious and say, just run with it. I think there's a little bit of a tendency here for people to feel they have to do everything themselves. They have to make the beat, mix it, master it, do the flyers, do the mixtape, organise the PA. It's like, just do a couple of things well, and don't be afraid to ask people for help. Because I've sat next to Kanye and he's rung up Lil Wayne or Jay-Z and said, help me finish this line. Or he'll ask, and then he'll turn around to me and say, help me finish this line. Whoever he thinks at any given point can help. And like the drums on, you know, on one song, if he can't find the sound he wants to hear, he's humble enough to say, I'm going to ring up DJ Tump or whatever. I mean, I don't think he'd ring Timbaland or maybe Pharrell.
Well, he did actually for Stronger, wasn't it? The video was there. He was sitting there for hours and hours trying to get that kick right.
And he's like, shit, I'm going to have to.
He just wouldn't.
I'm going to have to call Tim. And I think there's a lot to learn from that. So to answer your question, I want to be doing lots of collaborations and basically asking for help when I need it, and hopefully people ask me for my help if they need it.
Okay, let's talk about the Kanye situation. Did it go down as everyone says it goes down, that it was just a chance email and you hit him back in an almost jokey way, and he said, let's do it? We'd
already met a couple of times. So I had his email and his manager's email, and I'd actually signed to Good Music at this point, to his label, but I hadn't heard anything for months. I was like, I'm feeling a little bit left out here. So Jock and Jay-Z had just come out. This is last summer, so what, June, July, and it was I loved it, and it was blowing up, and so I thought, okay, I'm just going to hit them up and say, how you doing? It's blown up in the clubs in the UK. That's good news. P.S. Do you want to handle the rest of the album?
As you do.
You know, I just thought that's my version of their kind of their swagger. It's just a sort of, I just thought it's about time I throw my hat in the ring. And you know, the funny thing is, 2 hours later I got an email saying come to get on the next flight to Hawaii. I think they kind of forgot.
Did you take that email seriously?
No. You know what? I didn't take it in at all. You're like, is this email intended for me?
Check the web address, like, this is real.
Like, am I just CC'd on someone else's email?
One of those, you have $60 million waiting for this bank account.
Exactly, speed dating or something. But no, I think I must have called up, you know, DJ Semtex and Tony from Deal Real, who look after me, and said, look, is this for real? You know, when's the next flight? You know, and I just grabbed this bag and my other bag, and I went. And I haven't looked back, and you know, thank God I think they knew they wanted to work with me, but they just sort of probably forgotten about me for a minute. Not sure where and when, and sometimes you just have to be in someone's inbox and just remind them that you're there. And I think that's a good lesson, that you can be too modest, you can be too, you know, people are like, oh, you know, I've got beats for days but they're not ready for you to listen to. You can't do that. You've just got to keep playing people's stuff and keep reminding them.
Memory.
Not to the point of being obnoxious, but just remind people that you're on your grind.
So you're talking about a lot of DJs like Semtex, talking about Kanye West, a lot of people in the urban music scene. But obviously your sound is also kind of like influenced by obviously indie ska and that type of stuff. So where are you actually looking at yourself at the moment?
Well, I think the funny thing is, in terms of production, I'm definitely an urban producer because of my methods. So I'll use an MPC, or I'll use like Logic, but I'll think as if I'm using an MPC. I'm just that whole sample culture. That's where my production comes from. I'm not miking up drum kits and pianos. I mean, I do that if I want that sound, but normally I'm too impatient. I'm just just plug the MP in and go. But you know, as a songwriter, I'm the opposite.
Okay.
You know, there's a soulful side to what I do, but really I'm just a, you know, I'm kind of a troubadour with an acoustic guitar. You know, sort of wannabe Bowie or Sting or whatever. And then on the other side, I'm just all about my beats. So it's a kind of, not even a contradiction. I think it's just a compliment. Complement the two things.
So Mark Ronson, would you compare yourself a little bit there? Or?
Yeah, he's in my lane. He's in Mark. No, Mark's cool, and you know what? He's kind of helped me out. He's given me some props and like my first trip over to New York, he came up to me in the club and said, look, I'm really feeling your stuff. I'm gonna bump it on my radio station. He does, I think it's eastvillage.com. So, you know, he's cool, he's always got time for me, so I think there's definitely room at the table for both of us.
Cool.
How did it feel performing at South by Southwest?
It was like school play kind of nerves. Proper butterflies, because you got Common here going, have a good show. You got Erykah Badu going, who's this kid? Kanye going, come on Hudson, wait. Like I was having a beer and trying to find the loo, and then I hear over the PA, yo Hudson! And it's Kanye and Kid Cudi on stage, and I ran on just in time for the chorus of Paranoid. And it had that proper school play feeling, like all these friends just collaborating, jumping on, you know, you had the whole Good Music family, Malik Yusuf, Tony Williams, Consequence, Big Sean, you know, all these names, and Common passed through. I think the only person missing was John Legend, really. You know, GLC was there, you know,
the whole
crew. All the people.
Did it feel like the new boy at school?
Yeah.
The new kid?
I felt not just like the new boy, but the new boy from another continent, because that's what I am. I mean, they're mainly Chicago and
real tight-knit group.
NY, and here's this kid from London, and I don't, you know, it's not even about race. I just don't dress or look like those guys. So, like, you might as well have put a girl on stage, you know, in a school uniform. I felt that out of place, but not for very long. You know, once I'm up there, and like Cudi passed me a red stripe, and sort of, you know, high-fiving with Kanye at the end of the song. It's like, and all the band just grinning at me. It's like, because he's got a sick band, Kanye.
You're accepted.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'd always been accepted in the studio, but for them to get up on stage, and we all lined up at the end and did Love Lockdown, and we're all singing along like a proper Live Aid moment. And I'm there. I feel like the, you know, I don't know. It was crazy. But that was definitely a moment where I was like, okay, I've been accepted as like a collaborator in the studio, but now I'm on stage with these guys as well.
The track that I heard and was blown away by was Anyone But Him. I felt it had a real reggae ska feel to it. Yeah. How did that track come about, and is it based on a true story?
It's based on two true stories that I kind of stuck together. But you know what, for two reasons I don't want to go too deep into that one. In terms of preserving my private life to an extent, and also, you know, if you break stuff down too much for people, you actually take away from their enjoyment. It's like when they mishear a lyric and you correct them, and they're like, yeah, but the one I heard was so much better. Like there's a line in Everything's Broken where I say I want a word with you to a girl, and someone thought it was I want to work with you, as in I need to, let's build something. That's much better poetry. I want to work with you. Like I want to work on you, whereas mine's just I want a word with you. So it's an example of
very British.
Sometimes when people mishear stuff, it's better. But